Hi everyone, Katarina from Bloom and Passion here. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I'm coming in with a quick-ish tutorial just to show you how I made a matching box to fit the cards in that I made in my last video. For anyone that wants to check it out, it will be linked in the description box below. I created this card using only a 3D embossing folder, and I hope the video, the camera shows back some of that shine and dimension this card has. I think it's stunning. I absolutely love it. For measurements, techniques and all, please check the video out below. Today I will be creating the seam box to fit this card in. I will be using these colors to create the background. And also, if you've seen that video, at the end I showed you a different card using the same technique with a different embossing folder, which would fit in an envelope. And I will also be showing you how we can make an envelope from scratch to fit a 5x7, or this is just under 5x7 card, but you can use this technique for any measurements of envelopes at all. So first of all, I will be creating the box. For the base of the box, we will need a piece of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 7.75, and this one we will be scoring at on all four sides at 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So for the lid of the box, we will need a piece of cardstock that measures just a teeny tiny bit, and I mean just 1/16 of an inch, over 8 by 7.25, and again just a teeny tiny bit above 7.25. I wouldn't add 1/8 of an inch. You can see it sits between the two little grooves in there. It is only so that the lid is going to be that much wider, so it will slide easily on top of the base of the box, but won't be too big. It just fits perfectly snug there. If I didn't add that 1/16 of an inch, the box and the lid would be lined up. I'm going to try to show you, like perfectly, and we wouldn't be able to slide it over the base. I hope this makes sense. Now, on this one, we are going to score at 1/2 inch on all four sides. Okay. I'm going to use the base of the box first. I'm just going to free up these tabs. And now I'm going to fold and burnish all these core lines. And using my quick grab glue, I'm just going to attach the corners to the walls of the box, like so. Nice, setting it aside. Again, I'm going to fold and burnish all these core lines. And free up the corners as well. And the way I like to assemble it is, I'm going to attach just one of these tabs to the wall of the lid. Give it just a little second to grab. And once it's well stuck, I'm going to place this on top of the base of the box, okay? And I'm going to attach the rest of the tabs with it sitting on top of the base of the box. Now the glue is just keeps clogging up. Okay, so the rest of the tabs I will be attaching with it sitting on top of the base of the box. This way I can ensure that the lid will fit perfectly this one box. I mean, these are handmade boxes, and you could be making two the same size and one would slightly differ from the other. So it's just always, so I think it's just always a good idea to make sure that your lid fits the box you're making at the time. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just giving it a second to dry. So now it fits nice and snug. It's not falling off, not even if I shake it, okay? But it is quite easy to pull off. So that's a perfect box in my eyes. So now check the card, fits perfectly. Now when I make boxes for any of the cards I make, I always leave a little bit of an extra space. It's just in case I decide to add maybe a little bit of a tissue paper, it would just fit perfectly inside that box as well. Okay, create the box similarly like this one, or the same way, only using different colors. I will be using a piece of cardstock that measures 6.5 by 5 3/4, and this is the one that I will be inking up the edges of. And the other one is what I already embossed using this beautiful Peony Bouquet 3D embossing folder. And this one will be going on top. This one I cut to 6.5 by 4 3/4. So there will be a 1/2 inch overhang on each side, which I will be inking up now. Okay, so the colors that I will be using are exactly the same ones that I used to create those beautiful flowers. And those are Salvaged Patina, Mermaid Lagoon, and Peacock Feathers. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lightest color, that is the Salvaged Patina. And I'm just going to ink up I only need to ink up the edge, that 1/2 inch strip that will show underneath the embossed paper. And now, once that's done, I can just add glue to my embossed piece of cardstock. And glue it on top, leaving that equal amount of edge on each side. And I'm just going to add my glue onto the base of this and glue it on top of the lid of the box. Okay, so once that's glued on, I just like to go on the inside and just use a bone folder or a scraping tool or anything that you have to spread that glue out a bit underneath. Okay, here we go, and that's it. The box is ready. Okay, so this is it. The boxes are ready. I think they look beautiful, easy peasy, matching the cards inside. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I made an envelope to fit this card in. To make the card, I used 2 pieces of cardstock. The main piece, I've cut down an A4 size of paper to 11 inches. So this measures 11 by 8 1/4. And I just scored this at 5 inches on the 11th side, at 5 inches and 10. Turn it to the other side and I scored this at 1/2 inch on both sides, like so. And this is it all for the scoring. And I will also need a piece of cardstock. This is optional, will make sense in a minute. This is 5 inches by 2.5. Okay. I'm going to set this aside for a minute. I'm going to work on this here. I'm going to fold and burnish the score lines. Okay, so first I'm going to remove these little rectangles, these 1 inch by 1/2 inch. and I'm just going to cut them at a little angle on the other side as well. And then at the 5 inch of a mark, there's this score line. I'm going to cut this line to the score line at the 1/2 inch mark there, and I'm going to cut these off, and I'm going to cut these wedges of it as well. Same on the other side, just cut down the middle and then cut the wedges off, and also just cut a little bit away on all ends here. Same as that. I've already done that one, and in here. Okay, so what I like to do next, and this is optional, you can cut these tabs away if you wish. What I like to do, I like to add a little bit of a glue, spread it out and fold it back. I find this not only reinforces the envelope, especially if you're not using a very heavy cardstock, but it also gives a lot nicer finish to the opening or onto the bottom of the envelope. So that's what I like to do. I'm going to glue these two up as well. And this one I'm going to leave as it is. I'm not going to do anything with that. What I'm going to do next, I'm just going to make sure these are well stuck. I'm going to fold this over the 1 inch tab. Okay, so next what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this over this 1 inch tab. I'm just going to make sure it's all lined up nicely. I'm going to reinforce this fold line. Now I'm going to add my glue onto this 1 inch tab and spread it out evenly. And I fold this over and just give it a little minute to dry. This Collall glue dries very, very nice and strong, but it takes a little while for it to grab onto the paper. It's not a very tacky glue. Okay, so the little flap that we didn't glue down is going to be the flap of our envelope. Now, if you want to keep it nice and simple, this is all you have to do. Add your card inside and glue it down. You can just do that, and that you can, it's ready for addressing and sending. But what I like to do is I like to add this extra bit of a flap. I think it just adds to the decoration. I love doing that to my envelopes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my corner punch, and I'm just going to round down 2 of the corners, like so. Reinforce the fold line again, and just add glue to this bit. Again, spread it out nicely. And glue this piece of cardstock on top. Now all this really did is just extended the flap that goes over the envelope. Okay, so I have already prepared a few of these little flowers that match the flowers on the card, only on white, and I used the exact same technique as I used in the card, as I used in the video when I was making this card. So just go back to watch it, but just let me show you. For this one, I used the embossing folder from the Signature Collection by Sarah. It's the Garden Rose Trellis. I absolutely love it. It's just stunning. It really is so beautiful. Now there's a lot more detail in this one when it comes to these swirls and the foliage and all around the roses. So this is why I used a slightly different technique on this card. Instead of cutting all those out, I just painted over the paper. So go back and watch that video because it really, really is beautiful. So what I did with these roses is exactly the same thing what I did with these ones in the previous video, but just if you haven't seen it, I very quickly show you. I embossed a piece of cardstock, cut around the roses, and not worrying about the edges being nice or anything professional looking, because once they were cut out, I just pieced them back into the embossing folder and run it through the die cutting machine again. So with this I run it down those corners again very nicely, or the edges even, and just look absolutely fantastic. That's how I made it for the cards as well, only added inks onto the embossing folder. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to kind of find a nice way of gluing these on. I think that looks nice, and maybe these two I will add in here. There's a little leaf as well. Okay, so here's the envelopes ready too. I think it looks beautiful with the matching flowers. It's subtle, but it's there, and it looks absolutely elegant and beautiful. There's plenty of room for a message or the address to go on the envelope, and the card will fit perfectly in. And I don't really want to fiddle about with it, because the glue under the flowers just needs to get needs a little bit more time. But the card fits in it perfectly. Okay, I'm just gonna bring the boxes back in as well. Sure, match the card beautifully, and there's the orange tones as well. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell. I have some more beautiful videos coming up, and until the next time, bye.